Hey everybody, it's Sean here, and I had to hit you with this bonus video because today is a big day if you're a comic book fan. Today is the day of release of the brand new Spider-Gwen #1. Gwen Stacy, the Spider-Woman. Spider-Gwen was the biggest breakout star of the recent Spider-Verse mega event. She made her debut in Edge of Spider-Verse #2. This right here is a day of release, first print copy. Good luck finding one if you ain't got one already because this is a hot commodity. And it's no surprise. I was reading an interview with one of the higher-ups at Marvel, and they asked him, hey, why do you think the public took to Spider-Gwen so much? Like, why is she such a big hit right out of the gate? And he was like, oh, maybe it's the costume, or maybe it's the tie-in to Spider-Verse. I was really surprised that he didn't give the answer, which was the obvious one to me, which is the fact that this was one of the best single-issue comic book stories in years. From the art to the story to how they've reimagined the Spider-Man mythology. This is just like the perfect single-issue comic book story. It's so good. And so, of course, it was no surprise when Marvel announced that there was going to be a new Spider-Gwen ongoing series, and today is the day it has come out. I got my copy. I usually like to let my comic books collect up in my pull file at the comic book store, and then I'll go and I'll buy them all, you know, after they've collected for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then catch up reading over a weekend. But today I went down first thing as soon as the store was open because I was not missing my chance to get my copy, and I was not missing my chance to talk to you about it. So Spider-Gwen #1. First of all, the story, I love what they're doing with this here. They're setting up not just an alternate version of the Spider-Man mythology, but like an ultimate take on the whole Marvel universe, right? Really excited to see what they do with like a new take on an Avengers character, a new take on an X-Men character. Frank Castle, we actually see in this one, and he's a cop, and you can sort of see where perhaps they're setting it up that something's going to go down where he has to leave the force or he's going to get fired and go off and become this alternate version of the Punisher. J. Jonah Jameson is, we don't see him, but he's in the background still using his media empire to pump this idea that the spider-based vigilante is a menace and people buying into it. The interpersonal character stuff is great. Like, you've got Gwen Stacy, her dad is Captain Stacy on the police force, and in the last book we saw where he doesn't like Spider-Woman because he doesn't think she should be doing the police's job, but then he finds out that Gwen is Spider-Woman, and he's got to deal with that now. So in this first issue of the series, we're seeing how that's affecting his job, how it's affecting his attitude to his job. In the previous issue, we were introduced to the band, the Mary Janes. Gwen Stacy's the drummer for the Mary Janes. The Mary Janes is the all-girl band made up of basically the females from the Spider-Man universe. Mary Jane Watson is the lead singer. Well, what happened in the climax of the previous book went viral on the internet, and now they're a worldwide sensation, but the relationships between the members of the band isn't what it would need to be able to take that forward. So how are they going to be able to squash that and get that back together? How's Gwen going to address the fact that her responsibilities as Spider-Woman, how they mess with and interfere with her duty as the drummer of the band? Really excited to see how that stuff plays out. So the story's great. I really love what they're setting up here. And the art, Robbie Rodriguez, can you hear those sirens? I think that's the fire engine on its way to go get their copy of Spider-Gwen. The art by Robbie Rodriguez, this guy is one of the most interesting new talents I've seen in a long time. Part of the reason why I loved the Edge of Spider-Verse issue so much was his art was so different from like what we've seen, not just in Spider-Man comics, but in mainstream superhero comics generally. It was such a refreshing take on just superhero visuals, let alone on Spider-Man. And so for him to come back and be the artist of the new series is brilliant. I don't think you could have got anybody else to do it with this much flair and grace. His style it's lyrical, it's eloquent, it's poetic even is a word I would use. His sense of action and how he stages the action on the page, it's so different from other superhero comics, and it's really, really refreshing, and it really is something new in the world of superhero comics. I'm excited to see what he does through the rest of the Spider-Gwen series, and also what he does next beyond that. Maybe he'll be doing Amazing Spider-Man next when Humberto Ramos needs to take a break. Who knows? Anyway, Spider-Gwen #1 is at your comic book shops right now. Run out and get your copy. Have you read it already? Let me know what you thought in the comments. Let me know what you thought about Spider-Gwen's debut, or what you thought about the Spider-Verse mega event. I want to know what you thought of all of that. Really excited to hear what you had to say about that, and especially excited to show you this week's new video. Coming up this Friday is going to be Cosplay Cup Hockey Edition. So watch for that. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. Hit the like button to share the love, and we'll see you back here real soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.